Hello and welcome everyone to a very exciting puzzle edition today. Here is the map that you had to work on over the last week. It's a very special map this time. It is a tower design. We have 3 checkpoints above each other in a tower and then 1 checkpoint to the side. What you might notice here as well is that this map was actually not built by me. It was built by RPG legend Tom, who recently also built a great RPG builder of Tompus and all of that great stuff that definitely never gave me nightmares or anything like that. Great maps, and he decided to build a puzzle base for us, and a very special thing was included in this one, and that is there is no block mix. So, for example, right here, you would think you could drive right over here over the start. Nope, doesn't work. You can't mix blocks together. That doesn't work. You have to find other like alternative ways to get to different checkpoints, and you have to place them correctly. For that, we have quite a few interesting blocks here for gaining height. We have some wood blocks as well for turning quickly. And on the second page, especially, we have some quarter pipe blocks. Can be interesting, definitely. Some wall blocks here as well. And a red boost in water for this map. Very interesting, very spicy. And an anti-boost. These are the blocks that you were given and had to use to, find the best solution on this tower right here. Now, let's take a look. Before we hop straight into the results, I can also show you again what we're fighting for here. And that is 1,000 euro in this season. So the season consists of 6 maps total. This is the 4th one. So it's definitely heating up now. And as you can see, the top 20 get points. And especially first place goes home with 15 points for themselves and 50 euro as well for each single map that we play here. So it's just about time. It doesn't matter how many blocks you place or something like that. It's just about the time that you drive. You have to build the map first, and then you have to try to find the best solution. And I would say, without any further ado, let's hop into the very first map. And it is by Doomy. Now, last time we had, I believe, 5 different press forward routes. However, this time, there was only 1. Doomy actually managed to build a press forward route. Now the problem you might notice is if you start from the beginning here and try press forward, you can't place any block in front. So press forward doesn't work. Press backwards also doesn't work because there's a wall here. So what did Doomy do? He goes press forward and left, actually. Now it doesn't really look like it's working either. So because of that, we have to fast forward here for a little bit until he hits the wall here. Like, see this? So he's hitting the wall here now. He goes around. It takes a minute to go around. But now he's starting to climb up and go around here. And now he's driving. Now he's on his way. And jump up here onto the wood to turn around more. And now the crux of the map starts now. 1 minute 12 into the run. He was the only person to manage to do this. And this is now the thing. He's driving press forward and left, going around here, and now lines up for a jump all the way onto this platform. He's not quite at the top yet, but once he gets around this wall block here, drops down, there you go. Lands in the first checkpoint that he gets at the very top. Then drop down. Now he's just doing a spiral. So remember how we have a tower and you just go down the checkpoint? He's just driving a spiral. Actually clean around here. There's one more checkpoint to grab, but this one I believe he's going to get from the bottom because actually it is accessible right here at the bottom of the map. So one more turnaround, just doing circuits over and over. There you go. He got the checkpoint now. It was sitting here on the side of the map, of course. There's another turnaround there. And then lines himself up for this engine off here that he placed there. He used it previously, I believe, as well. Or was able to go around it. But now he's using it to get into the finish line with a nice warbang as well. Flip and finish. That's sick, honestly. Was the only person to manage to find a press forward route here, but managed to make it work. Very nice stuff. Now, some of the other people who did do press forward last time decided to then instead do a one block solution. So there's Doomy, who did a one block solution here in 49 seconds. I can show you right there. This is the block that is just sitting there. That's the one she uses, then lands in this checkpoint. Drop down from here. You can actually land on the small grass part at the bottom, backwards, and then drop down again, go for speed, and then jump here into the second one. Drop down into the one below. Oh, already got the one below. And now we'll drive up to the finish right here with the same block. It's invisible here because we are in the map of Deefcode, who was the fastest one block solution, or who has the fastest one block solution. So he goes down at the start and then has the block placed a bit further outside right here and jumps up all the way to checkpoint 2. Then drops down from this one a little bit quicker against the tree, actually, to slow down a little bit better as well, and then drop down here and then gathers a lot of speed and jumps all the way to the top. Standing respawn, and then from standing respawn you can just go to the finish, which is, by the way, located right behind the start and one block below. It's a very tricky finish, I gotta be honest. And then there was also Smear, who did like a 4-block solution right here, which was a little bit faster. 36 seconds. He has like a downer here into a booster quarter pipe jump, and then he just jumps with quarter pipes over and over into the checkpoints, and then was able to finish. That are those solutions. Now we're getting to proper real solutions, and the first one we're taking a look at is by LV. And let's take a look. He has a 33 seconds time. Of course, we're not using block mix now, so it gets a lot harder to drive something or find something optimal on these kind of maps. And we're starting off with 33 seconds. So goes up here with a quarter pipe jump. So you can see here how useful these quarter pipes are to get up these checkpoints, as you can see right here, just jumping up. Then drops down here. As I said previously, the one checkpoint on the bottom, you can just drive into it very easily. And then, interestingly, right here, there is a flat booster block here. Now, these blocks in the back, they are always here. And some people made use of them, some people completely ignored them. We will see what the optimal route will be at the end, where he grabs it there, then the ramp as well, which is also placed in the map itself, and then into the finish. Nice stuff here. However, well, while I pressed the wrong button, the next one is quite a bit faster, substantially faster. It's 10 seconds faster by Lone Drive, a 23.4. Also, by the way, if I didn't mention that yet, I'm going to try to go through the results a little bit quicker today, because we have a time limit. We have a 2-hour time limit for today, so I will try to manage that. There are a little bit less submissions this time, because the map was just that difficult. He uses a red boost here with water bounce out of it to go to the top checkpoint, by the way. And then we will see this quite often, like a staircase downwards design through these checkpoints. Drop down here. He's missing one more checkpoint, which he will get now with the booster. Jump up over the ramp and then bounce into the finish. Now, this is a thing I have to explain. Remember how I said that there's no block mix? Now, the thing is, if a block in the base was already placed in block mix, then you can place one block on top of it. And that is the case for the finish, actually. So this block right here, this plastic block, fits perfectly here. That's what I designed the finish for. I changed the finish a little bit that Tom built previously, so that you could use this plastic bounce here. Some people found it, some people didn't. Lone Drive, one of the people who found it. Very interesting strat here with the red boost and going up. Very nice stuff. That is a 23. Let's see now how much further we can go, because the next one, again, 1.3 seconds faster. It is by a TMK1K. I can't actually pronounce it correctly as well. And this run here is hella wicked. Let's take a look. This one is really sick. So he goes around at the start, goes into the first checkpoint now, then drop down, red booster, flip into wood up here, then gets the checkpoint here at the top with the roof it, and then just drop down. He has to collect one more checkpoint here on the staircase, and then jump down, and with wood drives from the side into the finish. So you can drive from the side into the finish or from the top. But yeah, look at this flip. This is sick. Like, that is what the red boost was intended for, surely. And then also finding a roof it here, you know? Like, that's pretty clever. You can use a bunch of blocks slowly climbing up the tower. Or you can just do it in one quarter pipe and roof it. Very easy, very simple, effective. Nice stuff. Certainly could have kept a little bit more speed. I believe he only tried a little bit, sent in his first solution. But yeah, the next one now is Slinky, another half a second faster. And let's take a look at what he does. So he just drops down at the start. As I said, it's just connected there. Then goes for the booster here as well. And also does a quarter pipe up jump with the roof it. Dropping down now with the staircase design. Then another drop here with the wall ride into the final checkpoint. And then to the finish line from the side. Doesn't use wood there, use the different block. There are different options there that you can use. But yeah, found a quarter pipe here again. Quite interesting landing, works surprisingly well. And then, yeah, just staircase, you know, we will see that quite a bit, but how do you do that optimally? That is the question. What's gonna be the fastest? Do you wanna go up? Do you wanna go down? Gonna be very interesting. Now we come up to somebody who was actually in the top 10 last time. However, this time a little bit further down in the bottom, finding himself in the bottom 10 actually. It is Jozo with a 20.1. And what he is doing is certainly unique, I have to say. So let's take a look. He goes down to the left, gets the checkpoint here, then drives uphill around like this. That block is very useful. Then goes down again. Red boost up into another booster, then does the roof it into the checkpoint here, and then another backwards booster into the finish. So the finish is really nice. I like it quite a bit, but yeah, I don't know where you're going there in the middle. Like, you know, he wants to get from this checkpoint kind of up here, right? He is missing this checkpoint still in the way, but this one is usually fairly easy to grab on the way like this. However, what does he do to go from here to here? He goes down there into this booster, then up to the side, and then drop down again, and then up again. Quite interesting solution for sure. Very interesting checkpoint order. This checkpoint order, I have to say, is a unique one. Nobody else did this checkpoint order. We will have quite a bit of here stats about the checkpoints orders this time. This is a unique checkpoint order for sure. The next run now is by Unknown, and I really don't know what you're driving with here. What am I looking at? What is this skin? Oh god. Also does a roof it, actually backflips out of it, really clean. Lands on the booster here, pretty nice. Then another drop down into this checkpoint, and then just drop down onto the bottom with the wood into the finish. Clean stuff. Very nice. Slightly questionable choice of skin, I gotta be honest, but whatever works for you, I guess. They actually spin correctly, which is even, like, it's so disturbing, honestly. Like, oh god. Okay, I shouldn't have looked at that. Anyways, that was Unknown's solution, so yeah. Interesting. It's the first one that we have now under 20 seconds, by the way, getting... oh wait, the author time was at 25, so would have gotten the previous author times that I usually set. This time I set an author time of 25 seconds. Which was a little bit longer because, yeah, the map is also gonna be a little bit longer than previous ones. We might not be able to see it sub 10 today. We will see. But yeah, let's see how close we can get to that though. Next one is Mega Tree, a 19.8. Let's take a look. So, he also does a tower design here, drives around, nice spiral. You will see a lot of people doing like spirals. Then up here onto the wood. This block again, really useful to get a height. Then drop down onto the booster, turn around. Grabs the last checkpoint here on the bottom and then finish. Honestly, looks pretty good, to be honest. Looks pretty nice. Gets a booster at the end as well to the lowest checkpoint. It's certainly not the most efficient route, like distance-wise and stuff, but pretty cool stuff. 652 meters he's driving, or they're driving total. So yeah, very, very interesting. Alright, that's a 19.8. Let's see how much faster it will still get, because the next one is half a second faster by a Fjorten. And this one is so goddamn wicked. It feels like always the people who have this Genki green skin are doing something wicked. But a Fjorten with a 19.4. Let's take a look. So he's going down, instantly booster, and then flips up with a wall like that into the booster here. Now through the checkpoint, into a quarter pipe, flip upwards, turn around, then turn around here at the bottom as well, get through that checkpoint, and then clean landing here into the bottom and finish. Dude, this one is sick. I love it. It's so cool. Might not be the fastest one or the most efficient, but it's hella wicked, that's for sure. Really creative. Like it's so cool to see how creative people can get with no block mix, actually. I wasn't sure about it. It was Tom's idea to do no block mix. But yeah, quite interesting. Most likely next edition will feature block mix again, though. But yeah, will of course be interesting to hear your guys' feedback about it as well. One very interesting thing here is that a lot of people, I don't think, noticed that you can place this block upside down for looping. I don't think most people realize this, because when you get this block, you know, usually you have a pillar below. So it's not a normal looping block. But yeah, if you place it like this and delete the pillar, it works really, really nicely for looping. So like this, jump up, clean stuff. Very, very cool. And also I really just like how like nice this landing is. Like, this is how it looks at the start, right? Like, when he drives the start, he just goes down like this on the side. And then at the end, he lands right here. Like, they are so nicely connected. And then also wood at the end. Cool stuff by Fjorten. Definitely cool stuff. Next one is Erwin. And if we delete the press forward runs and the one block solutions, he actually managed to get his goal, which was bottom 10, because there were 4 one block solutions or press forward runs. So he actually did get bottom 10 as he wanted, apparently. He improved from the last one by another 7/10 though. Let's take a look. 18.7, we are at a sub 19 now already. So let's see. So this is going to be a route that is going to be quite prevalent. It's the most popular route, I can tell you already. It's just basically 1, 2, 3, 4 from the bottom, going to the top, a complete tower design. And then up here with the wood, then plastic bounce and backwards into the finish. So yeah, basically the checkpoint order here is just, you know, checkpoint 1, 2, 3, 4, finish, you know? Fairly straightforward, just going from the bottom to the top. I like the use here of these sideways blocks. This block here, again, it gets you up a full 2 blocks, so you can keep a lot of speed. Then finds a quarter pipe jump, also quite unique, nice to see. It's always going to be important how much distance do you want to travel, how much speed do you want to keep in those staircases upwards. So we will see what's going to be the fastest with those. We're 18.7. Started from the bottom, now we're here, true. Just to plummet down again at the very end. Alright, next one is Kamjic. And let's take a look at his one, an 18.60. So he's gonna do something very similar, but he's gonna skip the bottom checkpoint for now. So he's only getting the one checkpoint on the side, then driving up here. To the top checkpoint, and now drops down through the booster and then gets the bottom checkpoint. Plastic bounce, finish. So basically what he does is he also does a tower, like we saw with Airworm earlier. He just drives up like this, but he skips this one checkpoint at the beginning to get it at the end and utilize the booster, which can be very, very useful. It's the only proper flat booster that you're given. It's by far the best booster in the entire map. You are given a downwards booster and a red boost as well, but those are very hard to use. Like, you want to go up, you know, you don't want a downwards booster usually, because you want to go up. That's what makes it difficult. But yeah, that is a Camjitch solution. 18.6. I lost my thread in the replays. I have a huge sorting system for this basically. And I found it back. Okay, the next one is Domino with another 3/10 improvement, 18.3. We're already at the 15th run so far. I did tell you already that there's a little bit less runs this time. Tom, who is also in the chat now, successfully scared away a lot of people, I think, with his no block mix idea. So here we go. Domino Marama solution. Goes for the bottom 2 checkpoints first, but this time the other way around here. And then to the booster, and a roof hits here at the top once again. Another staircase down, like this, through the checkpoint here. And then look at that finish. What is that finish right there? So you place the anti-boost, or the normal boost rather, into the finish. But what I think he realized, I think he just placed it with the idea of landing in it and then boosting backwards. But I think he, while playing, realized that it was going to be faster if he just hits the side of it and bounces back. Like, I think that's literally faster and more efficient than landing on the booster and getting carried backwards, you know? It's literally more efficient to hit the side here and bounce backwards into the finish like this, which is kind of cool. But yeah, also at the start, one thing that I didn't mention yet, this block here is so useful for this checkpoint. It's the highest checkpoint, or the highest block that you can have that still goes through the checkpoint right here. You can't go through it on like black platform height or something like that. For that, the checkpoint is too low. So this block is really useful for that checkpoint. And a lot of people will utilize that as well. And then yeah, classic quarter pipe, jump up here, clean spiral downwards, and then nice finish as well. Cool stuff, 18.3. And I can tell you already, by the way, maybe at the moment some solutions might look a little bit simple. It's not gonna be simple at the end. You guys cooked so much. I said that earlier already. I hinted towards that. There were 15 different checkpoint orders in total on this map, right? So there's this checkpoint here at the bottom, and then the 3 checkpoints at the top. On the tower. You wouldn't think that there would be that many checkpoint orders. Technically, there are 24 possible orders, no matter what order you do. Like, you could go to this checkpoint, then to this checkpoint, then here, then this or something. That is an order. There are 24 of those, and you used a total of 15 of them. And a small hint that I can tell you already, the top 10 has 6 different checkpoint orders. I was so surprised when I saw that. It's really gonna be so difficult to see which one of these is gonna be the best. The top 10 features 6 different ones. Okay, but let's take a look now at Hampton's one, which, by the way, is hella wicked. Look at that. Booster into plastic bounce backwards. Then up into the checkpoint here, another turnaround into the booster here, drop down, and then bug slides the finish, actually. So look at this strat here in the start, it's super wicked. I love it, it's so good, honestly. Doesn't really get affected by the wet wheels afterwards either, which is nice. And then carries good speed here from the anti-boost. Of course, if you're doing a spiral downwards, doing it with an anti-boost is certainly very efficient, you can say. There's not really a better way to do a staircase down like this than getting, you know, sped up with the booster immediately. But yeah, this start here is pretty cool. Like, just looking at this right here. Bounces up, hits with the back, and then turns around and goes through the triangle of the checkpoint. Sick stuff. actually using the booster. Also, what he used as well, by the way, is the hole. I didn't mention that yet. The hole is one of the best flat blocks that I've given you, actually. If you'd use the sides or the corners of it, it's a really nice flat block, or that Tom gave, rather. But you can also just, you know, fall through the hole. You can use the hole, which is so cool that people actually managed to use that. All right, very nice. But yeah, next one now is user 45. And with another 1600s improvement, getting the sub 18. He is once again doing the classic tower setup, going 1, 2, 3, 4 through the checkpoints here, going up like this. But what you will see now is a really interesting strat. He's doing a wall ride to get up here. He built a full-on wall ride and then plastic bounce there as well backwards into the finish. But yeah, just normal standard upper here, but then just builds a full wall ride. We gave enough blocks for that. That's a very unique approach for this. Keeps decent speed. The exit is definitely difficult, but cool stuff right there. Also, what I want to point out is this upper here is very smooth because he lands on this. He doesn't land flat where you would have to release to get grip. This block here is really nice if you combine it with this upper. Really, really nice transition there. And then, yeah, we did give enough blocks for this. I think we gave one of these straight ones and then 2 of the curved ones, which makes this possible. Interesting strat, that's for sure. But we are going ever so much faster. The next one is by Farvin, and it is another roof hit strat, 17.81. And let's take a look at what Farvin came up with. So he's going to the right first, then get the checkpoint there, and now to the booster yet again for the roof hit, quarter pipe up like this. Now he's still missing 2 checkpoints, the one in the middle here in the tower and then the one at the bottom. Then actually uses a booster there, and look at this finish that he found. It's very hard to drive in this case, I think, but the finish here is very efficient, to be honest, in terms of like potential, for sure. Because not only does he land in a booster that goes through a checkpoint, obviously this is an item checkpoint, so basically block mix is always allowed on this, kind of, whereas these checkpoints you can't place a booster inside of them. So he places a booster here. Also, he places another platform here on the side so that he gets rid of this canister here. So if he didn't place the block on the side, this canister would be here as well and would be blocking his way. And then he does a double wood into wall bang finish. And in fact, I can tell you, this is the best kind of wall bang you can find on this map with the blocks that I gave you, or that we gave you. It's this block right here, the curved quarter pipe block. And he uses it just as a wall to go into the finish quicker. So yeah, cool stuff. Very cool stuff. The 2 blocks where you could block mix, he very much utilized. And now, the next one that we have to look at here. It's only 0.02 of a second faster than the previous one. I have written down only 3 words in my notes for this one. And it is, holy fucking wicked. Let's take a look at Priloster's 17.79. He goes to the left onto the booster, then up here, and now comes up a red boost, plastic bounce, drop down here, turn around, then a booster here, turn around again, and then another plastic bounce into the finish. So he did a roof hit here. First of all, wall bounce with this to get into the red boost, and then this turnaround. Look at that turnaround! Oh my god! Look at this! How amazing is this? This is so sick! What a turnaround! It's not plastic, I misspoke earlier. It's just a normal classic roof hit. But like, this is so clean and so clever because you get the full turnaround and everything in one go. Of course, has to drive very far for this one. This is incredibly far route, 660 meters. But still a nice execution, finding the plastic bonds at the end as well. Definitely going very far here. But yeah, the question is, what is more efficient? What he does here, driving through this checkpoint and then with the red boost through the checkpoint? Or is it more efficient to like go to the back here and then do the quarter pipe into roofed strat, you know, that we saw previously? So that is really the question here, and we will see, well, eventually what is faster of that, or if it's fast at all, if they found something completely different. We will see. Also using the booster here at the very end, always interesting stuff. Definitely cool to see. Now, we will actually go into a quick montage section. So the next ones we are gonna look at after each other, one by one, and we are starting out with Mipak's run. It's a 17.68 right here, just a classic tower uphill at first. And then a drive around here into the top checkpoint, then drops down, cheeky little hit there as well onto the wood, and a finish. So yeah, a pretty similar solution as we've seen previously, but he's missing the back edge or the bottom checkpoint for the ending. Makes a lot of sense if you're going onto the booster anyways, because you already have the speed from it. So yeah, very nice stuff there. Now, once again in slow motion as well, where you can really tell what is happening exactly. So goes through the checkpoint here, then uphill. This block again is so goddamn useful. As an uphill block, it gets you up 2 blocks. This one I actually gave myself in the original version that Tom sent me. It wasn't there, but I thought one of those blocks would be really useful. And now look at this clip here. It's a reuse, actually. He hits the clip of the quarter pipe block, which he used to get up earlier to get a better landing, and then also the double wood again. Then the next one here is Nebula, actually, with another tower setup. So again, uses the uphill block there, then drive up here, then uses the simple platform there and jump up, and then an interesting bug slide turnaround for the ending. So yeah, classic start here with the downwards block there on the left side, then tower uphill, clean stuff. How you drive these optimally is varies quite a lot by how many blocks you have left and stuff like that. We will see a lot of different ways of climbing up these blocks. It's very awkward because they're right above each other, right? The distance in theory from checkpoint to checkpoint is very low, but how do you spiral upwards the best, you know? That's, and still keeping speed and all of that. We will see. But yeah, driving up here, it's a pretty clean run as well with the point is 67. Driving up like this. He's using actually a small flat part there from the wall right as well. And then also the sand block here, bug slide, onto the booster, clean stuff. Now the next one after is by a drop kick drum, doing a very interesting quarter pipe jump here. Going to the top immediately after the first checkpoint, then another spiral here, drop down onto the flat booster at the back, and then goes from the left side actually with the wood into the finish. Did not go for the plastic because, well, he's using it at the start here. He already used it, and the wood at the end is also really fast, to be honest. It saves a lot of distance especially. Nice turnaround there with the bug set as well. Cool stuff in general. But yeah, we will see what is honestly better between these routes at the end. Is the plastic bounce better? Is this wood end better? Is there something else that you can do at the finish? We will see. We will find out eventually. I love this small entry here, by the way, how he clips the side of it to drop in smoothly. Nice stuff there by a drop kick drum. One thing you can point out here as well is the straight that he's using here is over sand, over penalty sand, which slows him down a little bit, which is quite hard to avoid in that case, to be honest. Next one is by Sal. It's a 17.5, and look at this booster setup into quarter pipe jump. What is that? So jumps up there into the checkpoint at the very top, now turn around here and then plastic bounce into the finish. Crazy strat here. So again, the first 2 checkpoints, they all do this pretty much. And then this quarter pipe exit, look at that, how clean is that? So sick, this one by Sal, the 17.51, just barely hit. And also this plastic at the end, by the way, he bugged, I think, because he hit the floor and the plastic wall at the same time. But yeah, now just in slow motion again, we can really appreciate the ingenuity of this turnaround here. Of course, the booster goes downwards, right? So how do you get this booster when you want to go up, you know? Like, he wants to go up, but he has to first go down with the booster, because otherwise you don't get any effect of it, obviously. It doesn't go upwards, the booster. And then at the end here as well, you can tell he lands exactly at the plastic wall as he hits the flat bottom. And that, I think, gives him a little bit of a stronger bounce there. Next one is Tedank. Doing another very different tower setup, basically just spiral around here, very different approach as we saw previously, and then plastic bounce booster combination at the end. Also interesting. So yeah, finds a different way around there and then basically repeats the same uphill here, because I gave you all of those blocks twice. I gave you the uphill block twice, the wood twice, and also flat blocks twice, and so he just uses all of those. So pretty cool stuff here as well. This one another 0.2 of a second faster than the last one. We have improved by about 0.4 so far looking at these runs here. We had a 17.2 now. We're also really well driven here. That is not an easy transition. It really isn't. That is such a difficult transition with the wood from the platform here. Just look at that. It's so difficult. But he makes it work really nicely. That's the run by Tedank. Also gets a little bit of booster here on the way down. And then the final run we're gonna take a look at here is by Neophilis. He's getting a 17.17. He actually got the third checkpoint first, then dropping down here into the booster, and then very efficient finish again with a double wood, where he goes up here to the middle checkpoint of the tower first, then to the very top, and then grabs the 2 bottom checkpoints last. And also with that is able to utilize this booster here, which is really, really efficient, as we saw previously already. So yeah, this block, if you place it here, that was also why I gave this block, by the way, this specific position, it fits so perfectly in that spot that to go up the 2 blocks into the middle checkpoint, it just fits perfectly in that position there. And then, yeah, finding different ways to drop it down here. With a 17.1 is 7.8 drop down, very efficient in general. This route a lot less distance than what we saw previously. But that was a Neophilis there, nice stuff. All right, that is or was the 24th or 25th run so far that we've seen. The next one that we're gonna take a look at normally now again in the replay editor is by Techie, actually, is 17.13, another 0.04 of a second faster than the previous runs that we saw. And this one actually, in fact, is looks really fun to drive. So he goes to the left here through the hole and just through the checkpoint, and then clean quarter pipe jump up like this to the checkpoint here. Then also very clean transition there from the blocks. And then this roof it, which maybe ruins it, depending on what kind of player you are. But otherwise, it looks really fun to play here. Definitely. But yeah, nice quarter pipe jump, clean landing right there. And this combination, yeah, I want to point out as well. We haven't really seen a lot of people use this block yet. It's a penalty block. So not definitely not the most useful block out of all of them. But it perfectly connects to this. Look at how perfectly these two connect. So gets a very nice turnaround here, then up like this, around, and then also the roof it here is really interesting. Just look at this from the side point angle. How perfect is that? Like, literally, how perfect is that roof it here that he does? It's so good. So he comes there and then roof it down and lands so close to the finish block. Really, really nice stuff. Now the question is, this looks really fun to drive and clean, but is fun and clean actually fast? That's the question that we have to find out now. That's the thing. Is it actually gonna be fast or not to have maps that are this clean and nice to drive? Or is it maybe a waste of space to go this far on these blocks? We will see. Next one now by Vortex, a 17.07. He goes for a little bit of a different tower design here. Again, goes through this checkpoint first and now actually goes outside here, wall right, and then uphill like this. And now look at this one. Just an instant quarter pipe from one block. He gets from checkpoint 2 to checkpoint 3 at the, or from checkpoint 3 to checkpoint 4 at the top. And then also really optimized ending as well. Nice stuff here by Vortex. So yeah, this, by the way here, like, this is really efficient. Not only like distance-wise and stuff, time-wise, but also block-wise. He's literally only using a single block to get up here. I mean, he placed this here on the side, but he didn't even use it, you know? He didn't even use the platform on the side. And then also a really creative solution here at the end is, remember how, you know, we have an anti-boost, or I mean a downwards booster. So you have to go downwards to get it. So what does he do? He drives up and then down again to get it. That's kind of nice. I don't know how he triggers the plastic bounce here, by the way. It's kind of lucky that this works out. I never tested that, but yeah, he literally just hits the wall here. But apparently plastic goes beforehand, so that is working out for him there. Nice stuff by Vortex here as well. 0.07. All right, next one after this is Funny Pills. Also came up with a lot of cool stuff. Funny Pills with a 17.034. Let's take a look at what he does. So goes to the left. First of all, map looks very nice. Then up here onto the wood, goes to the second checkpoint here. And now look at this turnaround thread with the booster, then another roof hit downwards, and then uses the ramp into plastic bounce finish. This is a crazy route. I love it. Honestly, so much stuff just fits here in a really interesting ways. A lot of people just went for simple designs, but this is a really creative one. I like it a lot. And another thing I can point out about this, it's a fairly long distance. And because of that, Funny Pills, in fact, has the second highest average speed out of everybody. There's one person who beats Funny Pills on average speed who will come later, but other than that, he has the that replay. This is the highest average speed, and funny enough, this highest average speed is only 140 kilometers per hour. This is not a very fast map in comparison to other editions. Definitely not. But yeah, cool stuff here as well. Like this just fits nice here. Like drives up and down to get nice smooth transitions here from this perfectly going uphill into this checkpoint, and then up here. Then really cool solution here with the booster going through the checkpoint into roof it down, bug slide. Nice stuff. Love it. Really cool solution there. And the next one now is Crazy. And this one is now finally reaching the sub 17. We improved by like 400s, 500s, 400s, and now again 400s, but these 400s were finally enough to get the sub 17 done here. It's a very similar route, but very, very different execution. Let's take a look. 0.98, 400s faster. So he goes into this bottom checkpoint now and then just jumps up to the second checkpoint instead of driving around, carrying more speed. And then into the top checkpoint as well, drops down as well onto the booster, and then into the finish with a bounce. So really similar. It's the exact same checkpoint order, but the maps couldn't be more different, it feels like. And I would say now is the perfect time to take a look at a comparison between the two. So let's take a look in camera 7 between the two here, what they do. So as you can see, they both go to the left. Now different solutions here. Funny Pills goes above, then below. Crazy went below first and goes up now instantly to the checkpoint, whereas Funny Pills goes around here, right, and then onto the wood. So Creasy is already in the checkpoint now, whereas Funny Pills only gets it 7/10 later, but Funny Pills has a lot more speed, goes up here. Then again, Creasy with a shorter distance, going into this checkpoint. Funny Pills going around with more speed, still a little bit behind, but again, more speed. Drop down here with the roof hit, lands down, and gets a little bit more speed. Accelerates slightly earlier than Creasy, but as you might see, Creasy, by saving blocks earlier, had this one quarter pipe block that has a flat side left, whereas Funny Pills only had the sand block left. And as you can see now, Funny Pills is in the lead, but gets sand there. And because of that, slows down, and Creasy comes ever closer and closer and closer. And now they're on the same ramp, jumping across, and he still has more speed. Still more speed. It's so close, going through the start block. Now they're almost neck and neck. Then they both do the same plastic bounce. And in the end, it is by just 0.04 of a second, Creasy in first place with a turnaround against Funny Pills. Cool stuff, honestly. Between the two here. You can see this also again in normal driving, just how much wider Funny Pills goes here. But yeah, Funny Pills in total 120 meters further, or traveled 120 meters further than Creasy. And with that also the average speed difference was like 20 kilometers per hour over the 17 seconds that they drove here. But in the end, we were basically the same pace of runs. Very interesting. Alright, now the next one is by Lemon, the 30th run we are looking at so far. It's a 16.96. And let's see what he came up with again. Just 200s faster than the previous one, as we've seen before already. Typical tower strat here. Went to the top checkpoint first, but look at this wall ride strat here. Really interesting stuff. And then drives around with the wood into the finish. So you found this uphill here as well into the mid checkpoint. Then really clean uphill here. I can tell you, by the way, I puzzled the map a little bit as well, and I found the exact same start. This is also in my route. This is very efficient. You drive around here, a very efficient spiral is the best, we will see. But yeah, very efficient spiral here if you have the blocks available. They are very useful blocks that you're using here. So if they're available, this can be very fast. But yeah, then drops down here, gets the booster now, and then goes into a wall right here. A bit hard to keep all of that momentum, but then turn around here, over the wood, into the finish. Cool stuff. And with that, we actually have another montage ready for you guys. Another 4 runs, and I can tell you these runs are so close to each other. I will also show you a difference between them. I want to go through them like right after each other because they're so similar. Let's start off with the very first one, which is by Kaguya Nikki, a 16.77, 2/10 faster than the last one. Goes with a normal tower design over the wood here, and then drive up with a small drift onto the top checkpoint, and then bounce down again with a turnaround booster. So very, very efficient start here. People are now using this uphill block to go from checkpoint 1 to checkpoint 2, which can be very efficient. And then here definitely loses a little bit of speed. The penalty is very, very hard to navigate on that block. We can see it here again in slow motion. This start is so good. Like, this is, I think, the ideal start that you can do. These first 2 blocks, if you're doing this combination, I think is the ideal start. Then drive around here. We've seen that previously. The turn around with the wood to turn quicker. Then does a different setup here to go up. And then to the final checkpoint, where he then just does a standard plastic bounce. The next one after this, I can tell you already, is only 13 thousandths faster, and it is by Vante Ricardru. 17.76, finds the exact same start, but then a different strats here actually uses the red boost, turn around with another booster there as well, huge jump into the finish, and then another plastic bounce. So the exact same start as we saw previously, but then it turns around and drives a lot more inside here into the second checkpoint, the middle checkpoint of the tower. And then actually does a red boost uphill there. Really interesting. With the red boost, it's very hard to exit it cleanly. So doing an uphill right after is honestly very efficient. And with that, basically does a double boost setup here as well. So turn around like this, uphill into the middle checkpoint. And then around here onto the red boost, clean stuff. You see here how difficult it is to navigate that border there, of course, with no block mix. It's very hard to exit that water pool cleanly. Like, you always have to have that bounce. Almost always, we'll get to that. But yeah, that was Vantricatu. Now we have Zagmag, also just 200s faster. No, actually 7,000s faster only. 7,000 faster only by Zagmag here, 16.75, and he uses the red boost at the end actually. So same start here yet again as we saw previously, then turn around, also the same blocks here as Vantricatu, but then finds a quarter pipe setup here to go up, and then actually utilizes the red boost into roof it at the very finish, 0.75, only 7,000 faster than Vantricatu, so extremely close. But then you can see here once again, it's also not that easy to drive this section. Also turn around here with the wood, and then this quarter pipe exit, kind of a wall ride exit, really difficult to do. And then also here the finish again, red boost, roof it. You want to land as close as possible to the finish line. But yeah, that was Zagmag's one. Now the final one here of this montage is Penguin Slide, also doing the exact same start, but a different upper here with the 2 platform blocks, very awkward there. But now the ending is really efficient with another different red boost, the roof it strat. Look at that. Look at that strat there at the very end. So it does a very short distance threat here for sure. Doesn't get that much speed, but you never really get to that much speed, to be honest. But yeah, look at this double roof it into the finish. Sick stuff, another 1/10 of a second faster than what we saw previously. But yeah, if, best start here for sure. Definitely loses a little bit of speed here. It's hard to navigate as well, like those trees and the penalty grass on the side there, the ramp, all of that is given from the map base already. But yeah, this also here again, very efficient, the platform there. Also the ending here with the blocks, really nice, efficient stuff by Penguin Slide. Alright, there you go. That is, well, I can tell you already, it's the final montage we will see, because we're slowly getting to the important parts now. The very close parts. Because the next one that we're gonna take a look at is by Xiarelia, and this is now a 16.57. Quite a bit faster again, another 800ths of a second. And the funny thing with Xiarelia is, right, we saw just 4 runs in a row that took this checkpoint, then this checkpoint, and then, you know, just tower upwards to the finish. What Xiarelia does is the pure opposite, and he beat all of them. So goes up to the top checkpoint first, and then spirals downwards. It's the literal opposite checkpoint order, and beats all 4 of them right after each other. Drop down here, and then with the wood into the finish. So yeah, fun stuff here. Top 50 soon, we're well into top 50, I can tell you that much. We are getting close to top results here, that's for sure. Xiarelia with a nice downhill there as well, and then a finish. So yeah, it's a really interesting strat to just go up to the top checkpoint first. He needs how long? 6.5 checkpoints until first checkpoint. 6.5 seconds, not checkpoints. Pardon me there. 6.5 seconds to get into the first checkpoint. Really slow for that, to be honest. But then the rest is really fast and efficient. Doing the same threads there. And also this down here, really nice stuff. In general, the ending after is really, really clean. And we can also take a look at the comparison now between these. If I import the clip here, we have the 4 others against Xiarelia. And let's take a look in camera 7. So first of all, you see Xiarelia going up here, whereas the others go down. They already have 2 checkpoints when Xiarelia is just next to the other checkpoint. Gets it now, and all of them are already in the turning around phase from checkpoint 2 to checkpoint 3 as he gets checkpoint 1. But now drops down, meets them at the second checkpoint, the middle checkpoint, drops down here, and then has a lot more speed than the others, dropping down here. They are all at the top there, and now as they drop down, he just drives around, and look at the snipe at the finish. Nice stuff. And then the others are so close to each other. Let's also take a look at the others in general as well now. So we have Kaguya Nikki, Penguin Slide, Vantrikatu, and Zagmak here, all doing the same lines here. Then we have Zagmak and I believe Vantrikatu, who both take the upper on this line, kind of more inside. Kaguya Nikki goes very wide around here with the wood, and then Penguin Slide used these blocks here for uppers, which was quite awkward to do. But yeah, with that, Zagmak gets the middle checkpoint first, then Vantrikatu, then Kaguya Nikki, then Penguin Slide. Then they go around here. Vantrikatu is going somewhere with this. Goes completely to a different side with a red boost. Zagmak with a very, very quick upper here. And then Penguin Slide saved this some nice blocks here to keep a lot of speed into this. Then Zagmak is the fastest into the final checkpoint from them. Then Penguin Slide with more speed as well. Kaguya Nikki, and look at the speed from Vantrikatu coming in. But he doesn't do a roof it. So as we can see now here, Penguin Slide and Zagmak both going for a roof it, whereas Kaguya Nikki and Vantrikatu are doing plastic bounces at the back. And as we see now them dropping down right here, Zagmak and Penguin Slide. Penguin Slide there with another roof it. He is actually behind Zagmak right now, but with a better landing will overtake. Also here Vantrikatu losing a lot of speed on the plastic bounce, whereas Kaguya Nikki turned around and kept a lot more speed that way. And in the end, this is the difference. Penguin Slide, then all of them at once. They finished so close to each other that the replay files end at the exact same frame. It was a 758, a 765, and a 778 against each other. Nice stuff. Nice stuff for sure. Also at the end again, you can see here the difference as Xia goes in. Definitely nice stuff. Cool how close all of that was. But now we're going to the next player who I believe got top 5 in the previous edition. This time a little bit further down. It's a 16.51 by Matsets. A 16.5 another 600s faster. And he did another similar tower setup. So he goes drop down here actually into the first checkpoint, drive up, and then actually uses the booster for the upper into quarter pipe jump. It's a lot cleaner. He keeps a really nice speed there, and then look at this finish. He doesn't do a roof hit or a plastic bounce at all. He just lands on the wood and drives into the finish. Very unique solution there for sure by Matsets. Really interesting stuff that that turned out to be faster for him. So this was again a little bit faster than the others, and yeah, really efficient here honestly. Also using the platform, the indented platform, so that he would have a higher platform here. It's the highest platform I gave, or that we gave in general. So yeah, nice stuff by Matsets. Of course, he needed this block here at the ending, so he couldn't use it at the start, so he's just dropping down like this, which also works fairly well. It's a tiny bit slower, but not that much. And then, yeah, interesting stuff here with using the booster in that situation there, and then also keeps decent speed with the quarter pipe. Definitely nice to drive, that is for sure. Was it as nice to drive as his previous solution? I'm not sure. We will see. Alright, that was Mad Sets. Next one is Foxilf. And this one, again, also very efficient. He is going with the uphill start first. So going up to the middle checkpoint. Then another quarter pipe jump here, lands on that. And then plastic bounce, drop down onto the booster here. And then drift into the finish with a small bug slide. So cool stuff here by Foxilf. Again, very efficient. We've seen this route previously already as well. Like in terms of distance, it's really good. But I love this nice exit here out of this quarter pipe wall web block. We gave enough blocks here so that you could land like this and drive nicely clean into this. Also here for the drop down, using a plastic bounce like this is also really efficient, to be honest. And then small wallbang onto the booster. Definitely the end is maybe a little bit slow here with the bug slide. He gets here at 15.6 seconds when he starts the bug slide, but then he finishes at 16.4. So the bug slide definitely very hard to drive optimally, I think. Especially, but yeah, still very nice stuff for Foxilf, for sure. Alright, next one after Foxilf, another 0.12 of a second faster. It is Alec Bees with a 0.31. Let's take a look at what Alec Bees came up with here, often finding really cool stuff, and this is not an exception this time either. So he's going down with a booster and found this looping flip into the top checkpoint. Look at that, we didn't see that in a while. Then drop down here, uses the booster at the end, and then with the ramp across here, small roof it there as well to maybe get a bit of a better plastic bounce. But yeah, look at this quarter pipe flip at the start. Wicked stuff, I love it. He also gets it, I think, a little bit faster because he uses this block here instead of this block. I think this block is a little bit less efficient when you're doing the uphill here. And also he needed it in this straight anyways as well. But yeah, using this block here, which is very underused by a lot of people. A lot of people did not have any use for it, but you can use it as a looping like this. And then if you get it perfect, you get the flip out. Really clean stuff by Alec Bees. But yeah, then just dropping down here. This is fairly simple. You can't really improve or do a lot different in that section there. And then across here, and plastic bounce, drive backwards into the finish. We will see if that plastic bounce is truly the most optimal there. It is very inviting for sure, with me giving that plastic bounce there and bouncing back towards the finish. It's very inviting, but it also takes a lot of distance. So is it really that good? We will see. Next one is Alex, and this one is incredibly over-engineered. There is so much going on in this one. This one is insane. Alex also, I believe, got third or second previously as well in the second edition. Now showing up here with a 16.269, just 0.04 of a second faster. And let's take a look. This one is like, there's so much going on. I couldn't even write down everything. So he goes up to the left checkpoint first, then jump up here, roof it plastic, roof it bug slide, then jump here, now the roof it, then the plastic bounce, then into the checkpoint, and bug slide into... What? Wait a sec, what happened there? What happened there? So he just drives the map normally, right? The booster here, plastic bounce, there's so much happening. But what is this? Drives, and the run is over. Now, if we take a look at this finish for a second, there might have been a small oopsie. Because if we look very closely... Oops. the finish is actually sticking out. This is the finish block, the finish item, and it actually sticks out on the side. Now, I gotta say, this is my bad. Because Tom did not build this finish. I changed the finish. I thought I fixed this, but apparently I didn't. I thought I fixed it. I thought I tested this before shipping out the map. But it turns out I didn't. It turns out it's still possible. So you can actually bug finish on the side, which can gain maybe a few tenths depending on the line, of course. It really depends on what kind of line you're doing. Now, the funny thing with this is, as well, this is an accidental bug finish that I created here. Another thing that is accidental about this is that Alex was not going for a bug finish. He said in his comments that he was not going for the bug finish. He just got it accidentally. He just missed. He literally just missed the finish and got a bug finish instead. And then he found out later that it's actually really difficult. Now this bug finish, as it's just barely sticking out here, you have to hit it very front on, you know, so that the car goes somehow into it. If you go into it like from the side here, like sideways like this, it doesn't trigger. You have to hit it like this in some way or somehow get into the block. So yeah, very interesting stuff. But the rest of this one is also insane. So first of all, he goes to this checkpoint first on the left side, then jump up here to this booster, bug slides through, and then with this extra speed goes through the bottom checkpoint, through this little gap, into a quarter pipe jump up, roof hit, bounce down onto another booster, then plastic bounces here, turn around, and then bug slide, bug finish. Honestly, I have no idea how this is not faster. This feels like it should be faster, but it's somehow not. This is so wicked, so insane. There's so much going on this. It's just like a long distance, I guess, which hurts the run a little bit. The distance is pretty high, but insane solution. I love it. I definitely love it. But, well, same Alex writes. Fair point, I guess. Also doesn't know how it's not faster. Well, let's take a look at the next one. It is Leo, who also spent a lot of time on this map as well and just improves on the previous one by a single hundredth of a second. We had a point 26 earlier. Now this is a point at 25 by Leo, and we're back to a standard tower climb. So a drive up here around this, then a wood turnaround here to keep more speed into the turnaround. Very clean transitions here as well with a small wall ride, and then also finds a roof hit to the drop down at the finish. So really clean stuff here. Drives very far. You know how some people only use like one block, like basically only this block to get up from one checkpoint to another. Leo uses 1, 2, 3 for visual cue, I guess, 4, 5, 6 blocks for this one turnaround here, which is quite interesting. Then up here, this is also really clean, to be honest. It looks pretty fast as well, driving around. He keeps good speed, and then a nice roof hit, drop down into the finish. Uses the engine of here. It doesn't really matter what block you use. But he didn't have the booster that a lot of other people use because he used it at the start, which is actually really clever. Now, he didn't really have space in his solution for the booster, right? The booster is downwards, and he's basically always going up, besides the ending. But the booster doesn't really fit that well, you know? Like, if you place the booster going down here, for example, like, you just smash against the floor of the start, so it doesn't really fit there. So what he used it on was this. Right here, he gets a small boost from it on the corner, which is interesting. It's a super tiny detail. I don't think it saves that much. I don't even know if it saves anything, to be honest. But definitely a very nice small detail here by Leo. 16.25. So now, it was really close, right? From the last ones. In fact, in the last half a second that we looked at, from a 16.25 to 16.7 or something, within that half a second, there were 9 runs that we looked at. The next run is not only a sub 16, it's a whole half a second faster than the previous one. Somehow, there's a half a second gap. We had a sub 16. We were just at a 16.26. Now we're at an 81. How was there just a half a second gap here? Insane. We are jumping all the way to Solbur with a .81. And with that, it's getting serious, ladies and gentlemen. It is getting serious now. Every single 100th matters now. Surely. Going in with the run from Solbur. So, he's driving up here. Again, the standard start climb. To the middle checkpoint, then a quarter pipe jump here. Now he's missing the 2 checkpoints at the bottom, lands on the booster there, wall bangs, and then double wood into the finish, and also finds the bug finish, of course. Also managed to find the bug finish, and does it actually really clean. Look at that execution here, really nice. Also this wall bang is super interesting, but look at this. How close is that? That is so hard to drive. You know, like you have to hit this finish middle, right? Because the trigger is only in the very middle of this pillar. You can't even see it. Like, can you tell? Can you tell? Can you see it here? You can see it maybe from this side. It's so hard to see. You can only really see it on the black, really, right there. It's so hard to see. It's so small, but it is there. And if you just hit it perfectly like this, middle, you can finish like that. It looks so hard. Like, that looks so hard. I don't know. Like, I can tell you as well, I tried this. I never managed to get this to work. I literally tried to drive this. I never got the bug finish. This must be so hard to drive. Also, another optimization here at the start. A lot of people that did the start with the apple here, gaining 2 blocks into the middle checkpoint, they went around here. But it turns out you can actually go left side if you stay in gear 1. If you stay in gear 1, as Solbur does, as you can see down here on the bottom right, you can actually make it through this. And that is an actual 3 to 4/10 gain over the outside line. It gains so much actually just driving that more inside. And then also just clean quarter pipe there, wallbang. Cool stuff here by Solbur. Really cool stuff. Well, we had a half a second gap beforehand. Now the next gap, of course, we're back down to 300s. It is Josh with a 15.78. And he also does up his start line, but a very different solution here. So also goes through the triangle, then drives up like this, the clean line, and then drop down here onto a booster with a turnaround, drops down onto the quarter pipe, and then booster into roof it into bug slide? Huh? What is going on? What is this? Also, hey, by the way, hey chat, you're looking good, by the way. Turning around here, but this must be so hard to get clean. I was wondering about this as well, when I was mapping a little bit. I also thought about this idea, but I also never got this to work. I wanted this as well. I thought, like, in theory, the red boost, you know, the bad thing about this red boost, it does give you a lot of speed, right? You get a lot of speed. It goes up to like 240 here or something. But you always have this bounce. So you're always going uncontrollably in some direction. But with the roof it here and a nice turnaround and also air brake, gets a really clean block slide. Really, really clean block slide for Josh here. 15.78. It is the same route as we saw previously by Solbur, but the execution is so different. Let's take a look at a comparison between the two, which I believe is this one right here. And we are watching from Solbur's perspective. So, both of them are going up here the same way. I don't know why it's so dark. The shadows are broken for some reason. But now Solbur drives around like this with a quarter pipe, jumps up to the checkpoint, and he is quite a bit behind. This turnaround strat, where you just drive instead of doing a quarter pipe, is a lot more efficient than what Sobur came up with. It's so much more efficient. But then Sobur saves some good blocks and a nice booster usage for the very end here into a wallbang, drops down, and is actually really close with Josh right now. And remember, Sobur does the bug finish, but he is actually at the end behind Josh. So while the bug finish is insane, there are also ways to be fast without it, that's for sure. Like this finish by Josh is really clean and really nicely driven as well. Nice stuff by the two. That was just 300s again. But of course, the next one is also just 300s ahead. It's a Schuldenberater with a 15.75. 300s faster. And this strat is sick. Let's take a look. So he goes with the booster downwards and then quarter pipe looping into the checkpoint, and he just slides on his roof and jumps back down. Then drop down here into the final checkpoint and finishes from the side and also finds the bug finish, of course. What is this strat? Just jumping up and then just sliding. I love it, it's so cool. Like, to just have the ingenuity at all to just go for this in the first place is sick. Like, really sick stuff. When was the last time that someone finished from the left? That's true, that's really rare. It's not gonna be the last time though, I can tell you. It's not gonna be the last time, but yeah, look at this. Again, like, finding this looping thread here going up. It's very hard to gain enough speed for this looping, by the way. Like, obviously this booster here is very efficient. He has 220, 230 speed maybe for this looping. It's really hard to get up to speed on this map. There are really not many good options, unfortunately. Where then drops down here. I love it. It's so fun. Such a fun idea. Dropping down here with a nice downhill. Then also here into another wall ride, which is cool. And then finishes on this left side. And again with a really hard turn. At least he, I don't think, was quite as fast as the others. Let me see. He's still pretty fast here. It's still very hard to hit that, I believe. It's really hard to hit. But yeah, really nice stuff. Now, this is the run by Schuldenberater. This is a 15.7. But Schuldenberater set another sub-goal for this one. And that is, if there is a run that is under 14.5 seconds, so another 1.3 seconds faster than this, I receive 5 subs. So we will see if we will reach that. We will see 15 or 5 subs for a 14.5. That is another 1.3 seconds. We will see. We will see. Alright. Next run now. It is by DOG. Another 600ths of a second faster. And it is actually very similar to what Schuldenberater did. So he also does the booster here into a looping, but he flips out of it and then into a downhill through the checkpoint, then onto the booster at the back actually, and then finishes around like that. Very clean. What a clean finish by DOG there. And able to beat Schuldenberater by just 600ths of a second. He keeps a lot more speed. In fact, he drives 100 meters further than Schuldenberater. 550 meters versus 460, I believe. But in the end, this was faster. And another fun fact about DOG's run here. He had the fastest checkpoint 1 out of everybody. So this start here onto the booster downwards into this checkpoint, he had the fastest out of everybody in the entire competition. So congrats to DOG. However, unfortunately, the competition doesn't quite end at the first checkpoint. Let's take a look at the comparison between them here as well. The fourth one, we're gonna take a look from Cam 7 between the two. So we're starting right now, following a Dioji and a Schuldenberater with the booster downwards, then over the wood into the looping. Two very different solutions here now, where Dioji lands and Schuldenberater just slides on his roof. They drop down, and in this moment right here, Schuldenberater was still ahead, but then of course gets a little bit less speed than Dioji. But then Dioji, of course, wanted that speed because he wants to land on the booster. Schuldenberater just goes for the very inside line here through the checkpoint and then dropping down. Dioji is a bit ahead here, but then, of course, doesn't do the bug finish, drives around, in the end finishes 600s in front of a Schuldenberater. Cool stuff. All right. And now, finally, the next run, a run that a lot of people got scared about. It is a point 62 by Margie. A point 62. And we'll see, maybe this is Margie's best position so far. She has been in the top 20 previously already once. Maybe again, we will see. A point 62 by Margie. Let's take a look. Finds the start uphill on the right side, goes around, then also this very clean uphill straight here, and now look at this whole transition, drop down into the final booster, and then double wood into the finish. That's sick. I love it. What a cool solution here. Like, this is so smooth. This is so smooth. Not a single other person came up with this idea of using the hole as a flip mechanic to turn around like that. Super interesting strat. And then also the booster downwards like this, double wood at the end, very difficult to drive. A long time, Margie was behind Schuldenberater, I believe, but then at the very end managed to improve. Maybe that improvement was important, maybe not. We will find out. Also, very hard solution here as well with the plastic drop here. Dropping down like this into the looping at the bottom, and then with the booster into the finish. Cool stuff though. Here again, we wanna take a look at a quick comparison against Josh. Who did something pretty similar. You will see now that Josh is quite a bit faster at the start because he stays in gear 1, which is better for this uphill, and goes more inside. And then also takes the same uphill like Margie. But now the difference comes in right here. Josh hits the wall and then lands on a booster, whereas Margie just does it clean into a quarter pipe. And at the end, Josh used the booster, but didn't really gain anything on Margie. Now they drop down here, and Josh doesn't have a booster. Margie does, and with that added speed, goes around and snipes Josh on the finish line by less than 0.2 of a second. Cool stuff. Really good round found there by Margie, and she did that in like 2-3 hours on stream. Very impressive, to be honest. If you are interested in that, you can also watch her VOD, of course, as well, if you're interested in how she found that, if that interests you, and what other things she found and stuff like that. She built that, by the way, after everybody else submitted already. She didn't see any of them, of course, but just so that nobody could copy her solution, which was a good decision, I think, because I think a lot of people would have copied her solution, considering how good of a position she got. Managed to beat 44 other people. But yeah, now, next one is a Phobos, another 0.08 of a second faster. We have another tower design again. So the classic start here, driving up, but now look at this strat here. Jumping out using the hole, another one of these, landing on a booster, and then plastic bounce a finish. Cool stuff by Phobos, honestly. So this is so clever. Look at this transition out of this block right here, using the hole to turn yourself around. Like, this is so goddamn clever. I love the idea. This is sick. Like, this is just sick. I love it. I love this. And then on the other one, So he had two basically identical ones, like one here where you use the hole, and then another one where he lands on the booster. And so of course makes sense to use the booster for the second one, because on the last one you need the exit speed. So yeah, really efficient stuff here. Then plastic bounce, drop down here, finally uses this block as well. Barely anybody uses this block, to be honest, not surprisingly. Might have even less uses than the red boost, to be honest. But yeah, cool stuff here. Also gets rid of the sides and stuff. Just in general, really clean stuff by Phobos. Very low distance as well on that climb. Next one after Phobos is Geyser Ports. Another 1500s faster somehow. So now it's getting a little bit wider again, the position, the times here. It's a point of 40. And it's another tower design. So he goes for this checkpoint first in this. Then a clean uphill. Then just drives around like this, another clean up here, and then lands on the booster to keep the speed with the wood, and another plastic bounce into the finish. Very simple, very clean, nice stuff. Has a little bit higher distance than what Phobos did previously, but therefore also a lot higher average speed. This is one of the highest average speeds out of everybody, this run here by Geyser Ports. But yeah, cool stuff. Nice new slide there through the checkpoint as well. This is just clean, keeps a lot of speed. And the thing is, for him, the speed was actually worth it, you know? There's a lot of people going for a speed where it's not worth it, but in this case for Geyser Ports, as he, you know, has a jump up here, you know, like after this, he has a uphill there, he drives a lot of distance. So getting more speed for him was actually worth it. Alright, that is Geyser Ports. And now we have second place from the previous edition. Tenchi coming in with another 100th of a second improvement. And just like last time, found some insane strats and built another Kaki map. Let's take a look. Goes down to the left, the same start as we've seen previously, through the checkpoints there, uphill into the second one. But look at this finish now. Jump up, quarter pipe into booster, jump out, and now wood block finish. What is that? What is that finish? Crazy ideas here. So first of all, jumps up with the quarter pipe to use the red boost, which is not something we see very often, I gotta say, using the red boost here, but lands in the red boost in a way where she then jumps out, just gets like a bunny hop out of it to actually maintain that speed, which is really clever. Didn't see that anywhere else. And then look at this drop. Drops down here and then hits this and does kind of acrobatics around this pole into the finish. What a creative solution here for the finish. Just how perfectly this fits is insane. I love it so much. Once again, in normal stuff here, really clean idea. I don't know how that jump out of the water works. It looked very hard to drive, to be honest. But yeah, really, really creative stuff here. Was it the fastest? Is it over-engineered? Maybe, but really, really cool for sure. No wonder that this was very difficult for her to drive. But yeah, nice stuff regardless. I don't know how it works either, fair. But the ending is really cool. I really like this ending. Cool ideas. Well, actually, I wanted to take a look at the comparison here between Tenchi and someone else. I leaked the time already, so let me get rid of that one. It is number 6 here. I want to compare Tenchi versus Geyser Ports and Phobos, who do fairly similar stuff. So similar routes in a way. So Geyser Ports takes these checkpoints in the other direction, whereas Tenchi and Phobos get it from the left side. He gets it from the right side. Then driving up here, they're pretty similar in this one. Tenchi in the lead right now. And then coming up here around the corner, we remember Phobos had a very efficient one. Geyser Ports going for a lot of speed as well. So Phobos gets the checkpoint now. Tenchi gets more speed and Geyser Ports even more speed than them. Tenchi lost out here, is behind. This incredibly difficult red boost setup was not really fast, I gotta be honest, and it's sick, it's wicked, I love that you found this. It's not really fast, just Phobos overtaking there, also still having decent speed. But then, the ending, however, is very fast. This ending here, sniping both Gazer ports and Phobos like that is just sick. Really sick stuff there. But yeah, cool stuff. Only works like 1 out of 10 times. Wicked over fast. I respect it. I definitely respect it. Really cool one. Next one now is Nitra. And let's take a look at what Nitra came up with. A point at 29. Again, another 900ths of a second faster. Found the uphill start as well, but with a different block set here, saves this two block high block. Wait, 2 block high block, that's very hard to say for later. And then booster and wallbang finish. This is a really optimized wallbang finish as well. I can tell you, he did not find the bug finish here. That in this solution specifically costs maybe a 10th or 2 that he didn't do the bug finish. In this case, it was possible. We found out it is possible. He lost about 0.1, 0.2. It is really not that much comparatively, because he had this nice ending here with the wallbang, getting really close around here and then wallbanging there with the wall, finding this as well. We've seen that previously as well already, so that was very efficient. But yeah, going up here, different way of going up here, definitely very different, and then driving around like this. Cool stuff by Nitra, also finding a plastic bounce for the turnaround, very efficient, onto the booster and then into the finish. We can also compare this one against Margie, I believe, here as well, and let's take a look at the comparison. So Nitra goes around here, whereas Margie gets into the checkpoint earlier. Then they drive opposite ways into this checkpoint. Nitra slightly head into the checkpoint, but just very slightly. Then dropping down with a plastic bounce, dropping down here again. Nitra still ahead right now. Then Margie coming back here, but then of course Margie had a worse ending with the double wood setup, whereas Nitra goes into it immediately. Margie goes in a little bit later with the double wood, which was a lot harder to drive. But cool stuff. You can see there kind of where Nitra gained, especially with the ending. It was a very nice ending. Alright, next one is a Cube. And Cube also finding something very clean here. Another tower design. This run is only 2,000ths faster than the previous run that we saw. A 292 versus a 294. Let's take a look. This is so clean, this one. So he drives up like this, onto the booster here, turn around with the wood, and then look at this wall ride setup. Then dropping down, turn around, plastic bounce, finish. So simple start here, we've seen it before, we know it's good, but then he uses the booster here with this turnaround. We saw that previously as well, but he actually uses the speed. You know, he uses the speed and he carries it with this wall ride block into the quarter pipe looping block into another wall ride. Sick. This is such a clever solution. Like basically build a custom wall ride for himself here. Yeah, just look at it like this here. Drives up, wall ride, hit there, and then into this. So clean. Sick stuff. What a nice solution here by Cube. Turning around, plastic bounce. Really cool. Really, really cool stuff by Cube. Next one after Cube, we have Rock Skater. With another improvement, it's getting serious here. Another 10th of a second improvement with point is 17. And this is another really nice one here. It's a tower design again. I can say again, this is the most used checkpoint order out of everybody. This checkpoint order right here. This one was the most used, just going from 1 to 3, 4, basically from the bottom to the top. And look at that finish. So probably also accidentally found that finish there, I assume. So drives around here just clean, does a double uphill over penalty, but it's fast somehow. And then this finish is just so good. The finish is so good that he found here again. Said that previously already. He probably just placed this booster here, thinking that he's gonna, you know, get boosted backwards into the finish, but then found out you can just hit the side and go backwards like this faster, which is really cool. Really cool stuff by Rockskater. Just clean, fun map. Good stuff. We are already in the 50s now. I can tell you there's not as many runs left. It was a lot less submissions this time, which makes sense. This was a very hard one with no block mix. Next one is Quentin with a point is 16, just 100th of a second faster. And he again does the uphill start to the middle checkpoint, then does a quarter pipe wall ride around here, drop down onto the downhill platform, use the booster here as well, and then a very wide line with the wood, which is interesting. So really efficient start here, especially this is just efficient, you know, you don't waste a lot of space. Also here you don't need that much speed because you're just gonna drop down anyways again onto the booster. Clean stuff. Basically everything that is fast in this route we've already seen in other routes as well, but he just combined it all, you know, in one route. Like he used the thing to get rid of the canister here, he used the wall ride at the end, he used the wood at the ending here as well. A lot of stuff that we've previously already seen. Nice stuff by Quentin. Point is 16. All right. Then, the next one after Quentin is the person who helped me a lot with this project. He made a program for me to get all of these stats that I've been talking about, all of the like stuff with checkpoint orders. So definitely huge clap for them. And it is, for the first time submitting, a captor. And remember how we were at a 15.16? Why are we in the 14s already? Why are we at a 14.8 especially? We jumped up 3/10 from the previous one. And this is sick. This one is really sick. Let's take a look. So it's a different kind of tower design again. Goes through the top, the bottom two checkpoints first. Then up here with a nice block. Another one with a quarter pipe jump here. And then also finds the Tenchi finish. So through the checkpoints here, really efficient yet again. Just clean driving here through the triangle in the checkpoint, jump up through the last checkpoint, and then this is just clever, simple, easy, nice. It's just really clean. It's really clean what I kept up built. It's a bit hard to see, but a lot of scenery on this one, which is quite interesting. Doesn't use any of the boosters, by the way. Not this booster, doesn't use the red booster, doesn't use the booster on the map itself. Still gets a sick time without any boosters. All the boosters were clearly bait. Clueless. But yeah, again, this clean ending here. We also saw that previously already, but yeah, sick stuff. And I can tell you as well, this run has the lowest distance out of everybody by far. By like a magnitude of 30 meters or something, or distance of 30 meters. It's the lowest distance out of every single submissions that we had, and you can tell why. Like, he's really not driving far. Also, especially at the end, is not driving far. It's not a high average speed, but distance-wise, insane. It's only 379 meters. 379 meters only, which is crazy, to be honest. But yeah, also a very low average speed. I think, wait a second. I think it's literally the lowest average speed out of everybody. Yeah, it is. It is like, even though a captor got such a good time and position, had the lowest average speed out of every single submission, including the press forward, which is insane. Anyways, let's take a look at the next one, which is by Bagel, a 14.80, another 700ths of an improvement, and this one is also insane. Like, what Bagel found, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this. Let's take a look. So, there's a tower design where he starts with the bottom checkpoint first, finds the whole clip as well, going up there, then also clean up here, now drop down plastic bounce onto the booster, and then... What? That finishes? How in the world does that finish? Dear guys, I fucked up. I fucked up with the map. It's my bad. How does that finish? That's so clever. So I can tell you that basically, again, there is a bug fix on this map. If you didn't see it, there is a finish line there. It's very hard to see, to be honest. You can see it right here. It's right there. Sadly, there's flickering. And you do not finish this by going on the side. You do not finish it by going on a wall right. You only finish it with this combination because of this random wooden pillar here. Only because this wooden pillar bounces him into the wall does it finish, which is just absurd. It's so absurd that he managed to find this. Like right there, he gets the hit. And then that finishes somehow. Ban the mapper, honestly real. Surely no more bug finishes on the next one, surely. But yeah, also clean clip there as well with the hole driving up here. Just so much cool stuff in this. Also with this, by the way, this final last sector that Bagel drives here is by far the fastest sector out of everyone. By 1500s, beats the second fastest last sector from the last checkpoint to the finish. Which, I mean, I guess you can tell why this one is the fastest sector out of everybody. Gets the plastic bombs as well. This is just really clean overall. Super nice stuff. Also, by the way, apparently Bagel is a free access player. So this is playable if you're interested in playing Puzzle, maybe the next edition as well. It is playable with free access. You do not need to buy the game for this. You only need the editor and the plugin. And courage to try out these maps. A lot of courage. Alright. The next one after this is with another 69 thousandths of an improvement. Currently sitting in 3rd place in the season standings. Shorty with a point is 73. Let's take a look at what Shorty came up with. This is a very unique solution here. A very unique route. So he goes to the very bottom checkpoint first, then jumps up to the middle checkpoint of the tower, drive up here, clean stuff, then plastic bounce onto the booster, onto the bottom checkpoint, and bug finish as well. We're already at the top 2. Yeah, can you believe it? Already at the top 2? Crazy, I know. But yeah, Shorty with the point is 73 here. Skips the bottom checkpoint and then gets it here at the very end. A lot of people, you know, get this checkpoint, then this one, then up here. He decided to, you know, just skip it entirely and just jump up like this. Very rare to see that. I don't think anybody else used that. Then also jumping up here, clean stuff, plastic bounce to land on a booster, also really clean. And then found out that you can also get the checkpoint from above like this, or the finish, you know. You can trigger it from above. So he just gets it like that. Which is much, much easier with this wood. Like, this wood gives so much more space if you place it like this than if you place it like this, where you have the wall in the way, you know? So this is really clever, really clean stuff by Shorty. This route, like the checkpoint order itself, was, I believe, only used by 4 different people, which is also very unique. Has to slow down here a little bit for sure for the ending, but gets it. Very nice. Cool stuff. Alright, then Smithy comes up after this. It's a .67. Smithy always comes up with something really unique and interesting. Let's take a look at what Smithy came up with. So he gets the bottom checkpoint as well, but he instead goes to the top checkpoint first with the looping flip. Then drop down there, and now plastic bounce onto the booster, and oh my, what is going on? Guy, what's going on? How? What? Why? What? How does that finish? Oh my god. Oh my god, how does that finish? So yeah, gets the booster here really clean, first of all. Really clean flip. Then also this wallbang here to drop down quicker is really clever. Small solution there with the wood. Like, such a small detail, but it's really nice. And probably that detail alone got him in front of Shorty. It's only a 500th of a second difference. But then, what is this? Like, he jumps out here, then does a small roof hit, hits the thing there, the canister, and then bounces into the finish. Now remember how I said that you have to hit the finish, you know, front on like this, otherwise it doesn't trigger. You have to hit it like this. If you hit it sideways like this, it doesn't trigger. So a lot of people like use the wood to drive like this, but he found out with this canister from the freewheel. The freewheel came in clutch for Smithy. He just manages to bounce like this. Crazy. Like, how is this possible? Dexter, really mad? Don't just yet. Your time to be really mad comes later. Yeah, sick stuff by Smithy here. Let's take a look at comparison between him and Diogi as well, who did a similar route, I believe, if we take a look here from Diogi now. Diogi was like 10 positions ago, but let's take a look at the comparison. So both of them do the same start here with the flip. Now a different drops downs here. Diogi drops down there. Smithy drops down a lot earlier, and with that is a head into the checkpoint. Jumps earlier as well, so he gets lands on the booster, whereas Smithy plastic bounces, then also drives around here the same way, and Smithy finishes. Whereas Diogi still has to drive around here the entire way with the wood. Definitely in this solution, that might have gained a little bit. Definitely. What a crazy strat there. But the thing is, that was not known. Everybody had to find out about that bug finish themselves. And maybe some people are still faster than this without the bug finish. But not the next person. It is Eastful with another 0.2 of a second improvement from the previous run. It's a 14.49. And let's take a look at what Iso came up with. So a tower design again, where he gets the middle checkpoint first, the bottom checkpoint of the tower. Then drives up here, simple stuff, and then drop down sideways onto the booster and finish. Honestly, looks really simple, no? It looks really simple how he drives up like this. Clean stuff, up hits here. It's hard to perfectly keep speed there in that section especially. Yeah, just lands, finish. Simple. Really, really simple. That was enough for the 5 gifted, that is true. At Schuldenberater. That is enough. We went under 14.5. Now we're not quite done yet. It is a really nice run here by Isfo, but it's not quite done. It's really unique what kind of solutions we are finding here at the top for no block mix solution. It's really, really clean. At this point, honestly, it's almost special if you don't bug finish. Let's take a look at the next run. Because the next run is only 200ths of a second faster, and it's a really sick run. It's a really sick run. It is also, in fact, the fastest run out of everybody by speed. He has the highest average speed. I talked about that earlier. It is Stratos with a 47, just 200ths of a second faster. And this is a wild route. So let's take a look at what he does. He goes through the left checkpoint first, completely around the map, then with the booster around here flips out into the top checkpoint onto the booster, then through this, and somehow also finds the wood like Tenchi finish at the ending as well. What is this? He drives such a long distance, 570 meters, over 100 meters further than Isfo did, but it's still ending up 200s ahead somehow. Crazy stuff. Like, he drives so far away from all other checkpoints here. Also, by the way, I love the cheeky wood usage here to turn around quicker. So he does a small drift onto this and then just drives the rest with wood to keep more speed around the turn, and then uses the booster. He uses the booster on the map that was given on the map. But like this, you know, with this thread, not with the like drive to the ending with the like Smithy did, for example. He uses it like this through the checkpoint and then looping flip exit here. Crazy stuff, so creative, honestly. And then also with the booster drop down here through the last checkpoint, keeps a lot of speed with this, and then into the finish. That's sick. The thing is, a booster drop like this does not work here, I believe. Or well, it does work, but you have to use the ramp and then plastic bounce back. It doesn't work if you want to get the finish like super quick, like they do here. So that's why the middle checkpoint as the last one was actually really good here for Stratos. And then again, also this thing is just absurd. Like, why does that work? Let's take a look at actually not a comparison. We're getting to a comparison on the next one, because the next one is also again another 15 hundredths of a second faster. It is the current second place in the competition, who has won a lot of puzzle competitions previously already. Won the first edition of the current season as well. It is David H. with another unique solution here. Let's take a look at what David H. came up with. A point 32. Another 15 hundredths faster than Stratos. Let's take a look. So he also uses the booster here and then just jumps up into a roof hit. Another roof hit there, drop down, get this checkpoint, and also uses the booster on the map, jump here and bug finish. How does the bug finish? What are these? Everybody finds a different bug finish setup somehow. Crazy stuff. But yeah, like, there's so much going on this one again. It's a very similar one to Smithy, I believe, but very different in execution especially. But yeah, clean booster here again, driving up with the wood to get a much more direct line up to the checkpoint. Then the roof hit, he has pretty low speed, but he's just gonna drop down anyways instantly, so it doesn't really matter. And also a plastic bounce here onto the booster is also pretty nice. Then wood and this transition there, insane, insane. How did you finish like that? Insane. As Tom planned, exactly, of course. Let's take a look at a comparison between all of these, I think. Let's take a look at this between David H and Smithy. So looking at camera 7, if we compare the two, it is David H and Smithy using the exact same start. But now Smithy will go further into a looping, whereas David H just jumps up instantly and hits the roof there. Now, temporarily, Smithy will be in the lead here. He is in the lead, right? Has more speed as well, but David H, because he landed earlier in this slope, in this downhill, gets better acceleration and into the checkpoint is actually in front of Smithy. So it was actually faster in this case, and he also is having a lot more control over his car, and he can go to the right side to just save up on distance. Dropping down into the checkpoint, does the same drop down basically as Smithy. Quite a bit ahead here as well. Keeps more speed into this section, just like Smithy. Also plastic bounces here now in the same way, using the booster across here. Smithy also had to use sand here, whereas David H was able to save this block here. Smithy used this one obviously at the start for the looping. David H was able to save this one and then use it here. And then the finish is just, honestly, from both of them, it's completely insane. I don't know how that works. I think it really only works because he's like clipping in because of this wall here. Like this wall clips him into this, where he then uses the sand block. Really interesting. Would have never thought that that booster wasn't total bait. Yeah, me neither at first. Actually, there's one more comparison that I want to check out here as well, and it's because between all of these that we just saw. I told you earlier, we are in the top 10 if you weren't able to tell that yet. I said the top 10 had like 6 different checkpoint orders. And you can really tell if you just watch these runs between David H, Smithy, Stratos, Isfo, Shorty, and Bagel from the side here. Like, they're all going to completely different spots. Like, look at this. They're all doing completely different stuff. But then at the end, they all come together as they fall down here and go into the finish. Which is so sick. Stratos landing there. Then we have David H, Isfo, and Shorty going from this side. Smithy as well. Actually, all of them going from the left side. Interesting. And then Bagel also going from the right side here. Insane stuff. Now, that was the point 3, right? And it looked insane with all of these different routes. Now, we will, once again, just like last time, have a huge jump. The next run is another 0.3 of a second faster and breaks the sub 14 barrier. We were at a 0.32. The next run is a 0.97. And yet again, just like last time, the person to break or beat everybody by like half a second, have a half a second gap there in the results is Dexter. Dexter with a 97, a 13.97. Would you have believed that there was a sub 14 on this map possible? Dexter coming in, and he just drives up the start uphill into the middle checkpoint, then instant quarter pipe up here, plastic bounce drop down onto the booster, and then simple finish. It looks so simple. Just driving up here, then this quarter pipe turn, really clean as well, then plastic bounce, it looks so clean as well, it almost looks like it's intended, to be honest. Then the booster wood as well. This is using a lot of things that we've previously seen already from other players, but just combined into a really nice solution here from across everything. Especially this plastic bounce into this quarter pipe is just clean, right? Like, it looks so nice. It has to be fast. And then also this finish here, very clean as well, nicely driven. Great stuff by Dexter. However, just like last time where he was so close to a sub barrier, it was yet again not enough. He should have gone a little bit further. Because another 1/10 of a second faster, we have Imperator with a 0.888. And he is, in fact, using the same strat. So he's driving up with the upper here through the triangle, but then drives around like this to the checkpoint. Very clean. Plastic bounce into the bottom checkpoint booster and found the bug finish. I'm so sorry, Dexter. I am genuinely sorry. But Imperator found the bug finish and beat Dexter with it. There's a bunch of other stuff that is really clean in this route as well. So one thing, first of all, is he found this quarter pipe block here, which is really nicely placed here to drive up the uphill. Clean around like this into the checkpoint. Then this plastic bounce, I believe he gets a bug to get a stronger plastic bounce. You can kind of tell that he hits the plastic yet again with his front first and then with his back wheels as well, and he kind of gets a double plastic bounce in this. And with that, bounces a lot further than normal. Clean 360, it's so clean. And then also finds the same finish like Bagel did with this wallbang here. It's just insane, insane. You can tell, like, right at the finish, as he's finishing here, you can tell how he, like, clips into it. So if we zoom in here, right this, you can see how his car is clipped into the block, and that's why it's finishing that early. And if we take a look at a comparison, this might be hard to watch for Dexter, but if we watch this one now from Imperator's point of view, it's very similar in the start. Then they drive around here. Now Imperator placed like 5 blocks there, but he's actually behind Dexter. And coming down here, Dexter is ahead, but Imperator gets him on the finish line. Gets him on the finish line with the bug finish. So honestly, this uphill here by Imperator was a lot more creative, like driving up like this. Dexter just placed a single block and was faster. Somehow. Also a very different line there between them. Dropping down and into this. Dropping down here. Imperator is slightly ahead, but then has less speed onto the booster, worse angle. And with that, Dexter overtakes temporarily. But we're not done here, because there's another player who just by 300ths of a second was able to improve on Imperator's time. And this is gonna be pretty funny in a certain voice chat probably. It is Marius with a 0.859, 300ths of a second faster than Imperator. Let's take a look. So Marius drives up the uphill the same way, also uses the wall right here the same way as Dexter, then plastic bounce, different landing here in a downhill, and then small wall hit and finish. It's literally the same map as Dexter, besides one single block, and it's this one right here. It's the downhill right here. That's the only difference between Marius and Dexter. Everything else is the exact same, what they built. And we gotta take a look at the comparison here. So if we plop in Dexter and Imperator, and if we just watch this once from Dexter's point of view, we can really tell the differences here. So they're both coming up here. Dexter is going more inside here. Marius going more outside. With that, Marius on the landing actually managed to get more speed, slightly ahead there. And then this plastic landing is actually slower than Dexter did. It looks so clean with the quarter pipe, but it was actually slower than what Marius found. And then the wood into the finish. And even though Imperator found this insane finish threat, Marius stayed ahead. Marius still stayed ahead of them. Just like that. It's so close. It takes a little bit for Imperator to actually clip into it. And somehow, by 300ths of a second, Marius was able to overtake Imperator. But unfortunately for Marius, he will only tie his best result so far that he has had in the puzzle competition. He did get a second place before already, and sadly it is another second place because just like in the two other editions we've had so far, the new inevitable doing the triple, winning 3 editions in a row, it is Aldi with another 1400ths faster, and yet again with a completely different route. Let's take a look at this. Goes up here with these 2 checkpoints, then just drives uphill, just completely normal, turn around on this booster, and then this. Honestly, Aldi deserves to be locked up for that. That is so illegal, that finish. How in the world is that possible? Lands with the booster here, and then this somehow triggers the finish. What do you mean? What do you mean, Aldi? How do you keep finding these? Now, the most insane thing about this is he goes, from the bottom checkpoint here to the top checkpoint just with an upper like this. And this sector is so slow. This sector takes him 5 seconds. Out of the top 23 results in this competition, this is the slowest sector out of everyone. Literally, in the top 23 fastest runs, this is the slowest sector, and it's in the winning time. All of the other parts were just so optimized by Eddie that he could afford a 5-second long sector going from the bottom to the top like this. Of course, again, as we saw already once with Stratos, is that this booster here going through this checkpoint and then dropping down like this into this ending here is just so efficient. Like, just look at this here in slow motion. Like, he comes in like this and then in slow motion like this finishes. You can really tell how his wheel clips into the pillar there and somehow able to win and improves by another 1400ths. Interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. Leak our Discord messages. I mean, I did say, I did change, I was the one who changed the finish, and I said it was supposed to be fine, it should be all good. I was wrong. I was certainly wrong. I will say that I was wrong when I built that finish. I thought I fixed it, but I did not. Let's take a look at a comparison here real quick as well between Marius and LD. Marius going to the right, of course. LD is going to the left. We'll get 2 checkpoints very quickly here, when Marius only has 1 checkpoint at this point yet. But then drives up here to the top checkpoint. LD also driving to the top checkpoint. But he only has to collect 1 checkpoint now, whereas Marius still has to collect 2 once they get into this checkpoint here. LD lands on the booster now. Then Marius lands on the booster at the bottom here. Now, basically both of them are currently on a booster heading for the finish, going through 1 checkpoint. Marius is still ahead. Marius still ahead. Then going around here, he is at the finish line, slightly ahead of LD. But the finish itself, LD overtakes. Marius taking it normal without the bug finish. Was able to get the 2nd place without the bug finish, but sadly not the win. LD wins yet again. We can also take a look at a full comparison now between everybody right here. If we are gonna take a look at this, I have prepared a replay right here where we can see everyone like this. So we can see, first of all, 11 people going to the left, 9 people going to the right. LD went left, Marius went to the right. You should have known. Left is faster, Marius, obviously. Left is always faster. 11 people going to the left side. Now here, honestly, it's very hard to keep track of because there are 6 different checkpoint orders in this route. No, it's 6 different in the top 20, top 10. I don't even know how many checkpoint orders there are in the top 20. Probably like 8, 9 or something different checkpoint orders. So this is a complete mess, to be honest, until they all start heading towards the finish together. You see Marius ahead right there, then Dexter, we see Imperator here as well, LD, we see Acceptor, Isfo, Cube, Phobos, all of them heading for the finish, and it is, at the end, LD with the win. Then comes Marius and Imperator super close to each other. Then Dexter. After them, it is, I believe, David H on this side with the bug finish. Then after David H, we have Stratos with the acrobatics around the finish pole. Then it is Isfo right here, the next finisher. The next one after Isfo is Smithy. Right after Smithy, we have Shorty as well, very, very close. Stuff between them. After Shorty, we have Bagel here on the side, finding the bug finish as well. After Bagel, we have Acceptor hitting it like this. We also see Rockskater here. Could have had this almost the same time as Acceptor, but lost out by 3/10 against him. And with that also, Cube was able to overtake Rockskater right here with a plastic bounce, actually. Very interesting. Oh, it was actually Quentin, never mind. It was Quentin who overtook with just a clean entry there into the finish. Then it is Rockskater, then it's Cube. After them, it is Nitra and Tenchi finishing. Then after Tenchi, we have Gazerports finishing. And then after them, very close as well, we have Phobos on his roof and Margie and a DOG with just a couple hundreds between them as well. Nice stuff between everyone. Definitely an interesting addition here for sure. I can also show you now the full results here. So LD winning yet again, going home with another 50 euro. He already made 150 euros so far, and he hasn't even received the season prizes yet, so definitely going pretty well for him here. Then on second place we had Marius, of course, then Imperator on third, Dexter on fourth, David H on fifth, Stratos on sixth, Isfo on seventh, Smithy on eighth, and Shoddy on ninth, and Bagel on 10th. Also, Schuldenberater just barely dropped out of the top 20. He got 21st at the end. But yeah, interesting stuff here. I can also show you now the full results here as well. They're already in the stats page. We can see now the full standings. It is looking very good for LD. He is sitting at 55 points. Then after him comes David H on a second place, but behind them it is so incredibly close. From 3rd to 10th, only 10 points. And remember, you get 15 points for a win. And this is only 10 points here from 10th to 3rd. Shorty still sitting on 3rd place right now with 25 points. Then Dexter 22, Smithy 21, Stratos 20, Marius 18, Isfu and Imperator currently on 17 points. Then Tenchi 15, Alex then on 11, rounding out the double digits. We can also see here the full round 4 strats. You will be able to take a look at these as well. So here we can see the full results, all of the sector times and stuff as well, the checkpoint orders that everybody did. And you can also see on the very right side, you can see the different routes. So there were 15 routes in total. The winning route in the end by LD, that also Stratos used, was used by 9% of people. Then the one that Marius, Dexter and so on was used by 17%. Then 15% using the one by David H, I believe. Then the 7th place, I believe, was Isfo with this one, very rare. This one here. Then we also have here Shorty with this route, Bagel with this route, super rare routes. Then this route, we saw it so much. 24% of people used this route. It was the 1, 2, 3, 4, just from the bottom to the top, used in these many routes. But in the end, the best run was only 13th by Rockskater. So yeah, Rockskater got the fastest run on his checkpoint order. But then you see here the other checkpoint orders there, sorted by here the fastest route or the fastest run in each route. These are also available now for round 1 and 2 and 3 as well in the spreadsheet if you're interested in looking at that. Definitely still gonna work on that. But yeah, hope to see you guys in the next one again. I think this was really fun. I hope you enjoyed. Here once again the results, LD winning, and with that also in first place now. Definitely I would love to hear some feedback about No Block Mix, what you thought about it, if you would like to see this at some point again. It was definitely hard to play with, that's for sure. I will agree. The next one will be Block Mix again, which will be happening in a couple days already. On Thursday the next one comes out. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and also thank you for all of the support. This of course always takes a while to set up everything here, so any kind of support for these ones is greatly appreciated. And then see you in the next one.